Minjun Park sat on the living room couch staring at his phone. The weather alert made a loud beeping sound for the 5th time that hour. Hurricane Elena was coming and it was going to be bad. Really bad. The 16-year-old boy looked out the window at the dark sky. Heavy clouds moved fast across the horizon. The wind was already getting stronger. His mom had called 20 minutes ago. She sounded worried and tired. Both his parents worked as nurses at Memorial Hospital downtown. The hospital needed all staff to stay during the storm. They could not come home. His mom told him to stay inside, keep his phone charged, and not do anything stupid. Minjun promised he would be careful. But now, sitting alone in the empty house, he felt scared. The TV showed the Weather Channel. A man in a suit pointed at a massive red spiral on the map. That was Elena, Category 4 hurricane. Wind speeds over 130 miles per hour. The reporter said everyone should evacuate or take shelter immediately. Minjun's neighborhood had tried to evacuate earlier, but the roads got jammed. Too many cars. Too much panic. His parents told him to just stay home and ride it out. The house was strong, they said. It would be fine, they said. Minjun was not so sure anymore. By 6 in the evening, the rain started. Not normal rain. This was different. The drops hit the windows like small rocks. The wind howled like a living thing trying to get inside. Minjun walked through the house, checking all the windows and doors. Everything was locked. He filled the bathtub with water like his dad taught him. He gathered flashlights, batteries, and snacks in the hallway closet downstairs. It was the safest spot in the house, his parents always said. No windows. Strong walls. At 7, the power went out. The whole neighborhood went dark in an instant. Minjun turned on his flashlight. The beam of light felt small and weak against the darkness outside. He could hear things hitting the house. Branches, trash cans, pieces of other people's homes. The wind screamed louder and louder. He tried to stay calm. He ate some crackers and drank water. He checked his phone. The battery was at 73%. He had some time. His friend Javier sent a message asking if he was okay. Minjun replied that he was fine, just scared. Javier said his family evacuated to Georgia yesterday. Minjun wished his family had done the same. At 8 o'clock, everything changed. A sound like an explosion came from upstairs. The whole house shook. Minjun dropped his phone and grabbed the flashlight. His hands were shaking. He pointed the light up the stairs. He could hear rain. Lots of rain. Inside the house. Something had broken through the roof. Minjun ran upstairs. Water poured down the hallway like a waterfall. A huge tree branch, thick as a man's body, had smashed through the roof of his parents' bedroom. Wind and rain blasted through the giant hole. Papers and clothes flew around the room like a tornado. Water was already pooling on the floor. Fear grabbed his chest. This was really bad. The house was not safe anymore. He ran back downstairs, his shoes splashing in the water that was starting to drip through the ceiling. He grabbed his phone from where he dropped it. The screen had a small crack, but it still worked. Minjun's brain raced. What should he do? Call 911, he tried. The call would not go through. The lines were probably overloaded. Everyone in the city was calling for help. He tried calling his mom. No answer. She was probably busy with patients. He tried his dad. Same thing. No answer. The water was coming down faster now. The ceiling was leaking in 3 different places. Minjun could hear more crashing sounds from upstairs. Things were falling apart. The wind was tearing his house to pieces. He looked at his phone again. Battery at 68%. He needed to do something. He opened social media. Maybe someone could help. His fingers moved fast across the screen. He typed out a message. SOS. Stuck at home alone. Hurricane destroyed roof. Water flooding house. Need help. 2847 Riverside Drive. Please someone help me. He added the SOS emoji. The red circle with white letters. He posted it to every platform he could. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. He sent it out like a message in a bottle thrown into the ocean. Maybe someone would see it. Maybe someone could help. The house groaned. It sounded like an old man in pain. Minjun knew he could not stay on the first floor. The water was ankle deep now and rising fast. He grabbed his emergency bag. Flashlight, water bottles, some food, a first aid kit, and his phone charger. He unplugged his phone from the wall charger. Battery at 65% now. He put it in a plastic Ziploc bag to keep it dry. He had to go up. It did not make sense, but he had no choice. The attic was the highest point in the house. If the first floor flooded, at least he would be above the water. Minjun climbed the stairs, stepping over debris and avoiding the waterfalls coming from the ceiling. The second floor was a disaster. His room was soaked. His parents' room was destroyed. The guest room had a leak, but the hallway had a small door in the ceiling. The attic access. Minjun pulled down the folding ladder. It creaked but held his weight. The attic was dark and hot. Even with the storm outside, the air up here was thick and hard to breathe. Minjun pulled himself up and brought his bag. He closed the attic door behind him. He could still hear the storm. It sounded even louder up here. The roof was just inches above his head. He could hear the shingles ripping off one by one. Minjun found a spot near a small vent. At least he could get some air there. He sat down on the wooden beams, careful not to step through the insulation. He turned off his flashlight to save batteries. In the darkness, he felt very alone. Very small. Very scared. His phone buzzed. Battery at 62%. He looked at the screen. A few people had replied to his SOS posts. Friends saying they hoped he was okay. Strangers saying they were praying for him. But no real help. Nobody could reach him. The storm was too strong. The roads were too dangerous. Outside, Hurricane Elena raged on. The wind sounded like a freight train that never stopped. Minjun heard more crashes. More things breaking. He wondered if his house would still be standing in the morning. He wondered if he would still be alive. He looked at his phone one more time. Battery at 60%. He needed to save power. He turned the screen brightness all the way down. He closed all his apps except the emergency ones. Then he sat in the dark, listening to the storm try to tear the world apart. Minjun did not know it yet, but 3 states away, someone had seen his message. Someone who could actually help. Someone who would risk everything to save a stranger. The rescue was already beginning. But for now, in the dark attic of a breaking house, Minjun could only wait and hope that morning would come. 300 miles away in Tampa, John Cena could not sleep. He lay in his hotel bed, staring at the ceiling. The WWE event scheduled for tonight had been canceled. Hurricane Elena was too dangerous. Everyone was told to stay inside. The hotel windows rattled every few minutes when a strong gust of wind hit the building. Cena grabbed his phone from the nightstand. It was almost 9 at night. He scrolled through social media, looking at posts about the storm. People were sharing photos of flooding, damaged homes, and fallen trees. The destruction was terrible. Lives were being destroyed in real time. He had been in dangerous situations before. Wrestling was tough, but this was different. This was nature, raw and powerful. Nobody could fight a hurricane. Nobody could pin it for a 3 count. All anyone could do was survive and help others survive. Cena kept scrolling. Then he saw it. A post from a kid. The profile picture showed a teenage boy in a high school basketball uniform. The message was simple but desperate. SOS. Stuck at home alone. Hurricane destroyed roof. Water flooding house. Need help. 2847 Riverside Drive. Please, someone help me. The post was only 15 minutes old. Cena sat up in bed. His heart started beating faster. This was real. This was happening right now. A kid was trapped and scared and alone. He clicked on the profile. Minjun Park, 16 years old, from Clearwater, Florida. That was in the worst part of the storm's path. Cena looked at the replies. Lots of prayers, lots of heart emojis, but no actual help. Nobody was doing anything. They were just watching from safety, sending thoughts and prayers. That was not enough. That kid needed real help. Now, Cena grabbed his phone and dialed 911. The line was busy. He tried again. Still busy. He tried a 3rd time. Finally, someone answered. A tired woman's voice came through the phone. What is your emergency? I saw a post online. A kid is trapped in a house with a destroyed roof. The address is 2847 Riverside Drive in Clearwater. He needs help. Sir, we have over 600 emergency calls waiting. All our rescue teams are deployed. We will get to him as soon as we can. How long will that be? I cannot give you a time frame. We are doing our best. Is this your address? No, I saw his post on social media. Sir, if you are not in immediate danger, I need to keep this line open for emergency calls. This is an emergency. A kid is trapped. I understand, sir. We have logged his address. We will send help when we can. Please stay safe. The line went dead. Cena stared at his phone. That was it? They would send help when they could? That kid might not have that kind of time. If his roof was destroyed, the whole house could collapse. If water was flooding the house, he could drown. Every minute counted. Cena got out of bed. He paced the hotel room. He was John Cena. He had money. He had connections. He had resources. There had to be something he could do. He could not just sit here while a kid died waiting for help that might never come. He started making calls. First, he called his assistant, Marcus. Marcus answered on the second ring. John, what's up? You okay? I am fine. Listen, I need your help. There is a kid trapped in Clearwater. House is flooding. Roof collapsed. I need to get to him. John, you cannot go out in this storm. It is too dangerous. If I do not go, that kid might die. There was silence on the other end. Then Marcus sighed. What do you need? A boat, a rescue boat, and someone who knows how to drive it in these conditions. I will make some calls. Next, Cena called David Torres. David was a former Marine. They met 2 years ago at a military charity event. David lived in Clearwater. If anyone could help navigate this storm, it was him. Cena, is that really you? Yeah, it is me. Listen, I need your help. Are you somewhere safe? I am at my brother's house. We are inland, away from the flooding. Why? Cena explained the situation. He told David about Minjun's post, about the address, about how nobody could get to him, about how they had to try. You want to go out in this storm? To rescue a kid you do not even know? Yes, David was quiet for a moment. Then he laughed. Not a mean laugh. A laugh of respect. You are crazy, man. But I like it. What is the plan? Meet me at the Tampa Marina in 1 hour. I am getting a boat. We need supplies. Rope, life jackets, first aid kit. Anything you can think of. I will bring my emergency gear. See you in an hour. Cena hung up and kept making calls. Marcus called back 15 minutes later. He found a boat rental company that did rescue operations. The owner, Mike Chen, was willing to help. Mike said he knew the Clearwater area like the back of his hand. He grew up fishing in those waters. If anyone could navigate flooded streets, it was him. But Mike had one condition. This was incredibly dangerous. They could die. They all needed to understand that. Cena said he understood. The risk was worth it. Cena got dressed fast. Jeans, boots, a waterproof jacket. He grabbed his waterproof camera. If they were going to do this, he wanted to document it. Not for fame, not for views, but as evidence, in case something went wrong, in case someone needed to know what happened. He left the hotel and drove through the storm. The rain was intense. His windshield wipers could barely keep up. The roads were covered in water. Debris was everywhere. Twice he had to drive around fallen trees. This was madness, but he kept going. At the marina, he found Mike and David waiting. Mike was a short, muscular man in his 50s. He looked tough and weathered, like someone who spent his whole life on the water. David was tall and solid, with short hair and the posture of a soldier. Both men looked serious. You are really John Cena, Mike said. It was not a question. I am. Thank you for doing this. That kid better appreciate this. We are risking our lives. If we get to him, I will make sure he knows. They loaded the boat with supplies. Rope, life jackets, thermal blankets, a first aid kit, tools, extra flashlights, and water. Mike checked the engine twice. He checked the fuel. He checked everything. This boat had to work perfectly. One mistake could kill them all. The storm is getting worse, Mike said. If we are going to do this, we need to leave now. They got in the boat. Cena sat in the back holding onto the railing. David sat in the middle, ready to help navigate. Mike was at the wheel, his face set and determined. The engine roared to life. They left the marina and headed toward Clearwater. The water was rough. Waves crashed against the boat. Rain pounded them from every direction. The wind tried to push them off course. Mike fought the wheel, keeping them steady. How far? David yelled over the storm. 20 miles, maybe 30 minutes in good conditions. Tonight, maybe an hour. If we are lucky. They were not lucky. 10 minutes into the trip, they hit their first obstacle. A floating car swept away by the flood drifted into their path. Mike swerved hard. The boat tilted. Cena grabbed the railing tighter. They missed the car by inches. Everyone okay? Mike shouted. We are good, David yelled back. They kept going. The GPS showed their route. But the GPS did not show the debris. It did not show the power lines hanging low over the water. It did not show the trees that had fallen across streets. Mike had to navigate around everything by sight. Cena held his camera and recorded what he could. The destruction was unbelievable. Houses with roofs torn off, cars flipped upside down, a children's playground floating like a toy. This storm had turned a city into a war zone. "We are getting close," Mike yelled. "5 more minutes." Cena's heart pounded. They were almost there. Almost to Minjun. He hoped they were not too late. He hoped the house was still standing. He hoped the kid was still alive. David pulled out a spotlight. He pointed it ahead, trying to see through the rain and darkness. They were looking for Riverside Drive, looking for number 2847, looking for any sign of the boy who had sent that desperate message into the void. And somewhere in the dark, in a flooding house, Minjun sat in an attic, not knowing that help was coming, not knowing that 3 strangers were risking everything to save him, not knowing that his life was about to change forever. The boat moved slowly through what used to be Riverside Drive. It did not look like a street anymore. It looked like a river. Water covered everything. Street signs poked out of the water like grave markers. Trees lay across the path like fallen giants. The storm was not done yet. Wind still howled. Rain still poured. Mike steered carefully, watching for hidden dangers. A mailbox could tear a hole in the boat. A piece of metal could cut them. The water was full of things that wanted to hurt them. Every few seconds, lightning lit up the sky. For one bright moment, they could see everything. Then darkness fell again. "What number are we looking for?" David yelled. 2847. Cena shouted back. "Look for house numbers." David pointed the spotlight at houses as they passed. Many houses had no numbers anymore. The storm had ripped them off. Some houses were dark and empty. Some had lights inside, people sheltering and scared. But nobody was outside. Nobody was crazy enough to be out here except them. "There. At Twangle 35. David pointed at a blue house. "We are close." Mike said, "Keep looking." The boat moved forward. Cena felt his stomach tight with worry. What if they were too late? What if the house had already collapsed? What if Minjun had drowned? What if they came all this way for nothing? 2841, David yelled. They were almost there. Cena stood up, holding the railing for balance. The boat rocked hard in the waves. He searched the darkness for any sign of the right house. Then he saw it. Theory 7. The numbers hung crooked on a white mailbox. Behind the mailbox stood a 2-story house. Or what was left of it. Part of the roof was gone. A huge tree branch stuck out of the second floor like a spear. The house tilted to one side. It looked like it might fall over at any moment. There. That is it. Cena pointed. Mike turned the boat toward the house. The water was deep here. Maybe 8 feet. The first floor was completely underwater. Only the second floor and attic were above the flood. If Minjun was still alive, he had to be up there. I do not like this, Mike said. That house is not stable. It could collapse any second. We have to try, Cena said. Mike brought the boat as close as he could. The yard was full of debris. Pieces of fence, toys, garbage cans, all floating in the dark water. He stopped the boat about 20 feet from the house. I cannot get closer. Too dangerous. Cena looked at the house. 20 feet did not seem far. But in this storm, in this water, it was like a mile. He looked at David. Can you swim that? In this current? Maybe, but getting back with the kid? That is harder. They needed another way. Cena looked around the boat. Then he saw the rope. A long, strong rope they brought for emergencies. This was definitely an emergency. We tie the rope to the boat. Someone swims to the house with the other end. We tie it off. Then we have a line to pull ourselves back. David nodded. That could work. I will swim it, no, Cena said. I will do it. John, I was a Marine. I trained for this. And I am the one who got us all out here. This is my responsibility. David looked like he wanted to argue, but he did not. He helped Cena put on a life jacket. They tied the rope around Cena's waist. Mike held the other end, keeping it secure to the boat. You have 10 minutes, Mike said. Any longer and I am pulling you back. This house could go down any second. Cena nodded. He took a deep breath. Then he jumped into the water. The cold hit him like a punch. The water was not supposed to be this cold in Florida, but the storm had churned up deep water. Dark water. Cold water. Cena started swimming. The current pulled at him. The rope pulled back. He kicked hard, fighting against nature. Debris bumped into him. A plastic chair. A soaking pillow. Things that used to be someone's normal life. Now just garbage floating in a flood. Cena pushed them away and kept swimming. 20 feet felt like 200. His arms burned. His legs kicked hard. Water got in his mouth. He spit it out and kept going. The house got closer, closer. His hand touched wood, the side of the house. He made it. Cena grabbed onto a window frame. The window was broken. He pulled himself up and looked inside. Water filled the first floor. Furniture floated like toys in a bathtub. Family photos drifted past. A life destroyed. He climbed higher. There was a drain pipe on the side of the house. It looked loose, but it was all he had. He grabbed it and pulled himself up toward the second floor. The pipe creaked. It bent. But it held. He reached the second floor. There was a broken window. Cena looked inside. This floor was damaged but not flooded yet. The water was rising. He could see it creeping up the stairs. They did not have much time. "Min-jun," he yelled. "Min-jun, can you hear me?" Nothing. Just the sound of wind and rain and the house groaning. "Min-jun, my name is John. I am here to help you." Still nothing. Cena's heart sank. Was he too late? Then he heard it. A small sound from above. A tap, tap, tap. Morse code? No, it was someone knocking. Someone was alive up there. "Min-jun, keep making noise." "I am coming." Cena climbed through the broken window. Glass cut his hand, but he did not care. He was inside. He turned on his flashlight. The hallway was a mess. Water dripped from everywhere. The ceiling sagged. In the middle of the hallway, he saw a small door. The attic, he ran to it and pulled. The door was stuck, swollen from water. He pulled harder. It would not budge. "Stand back," he yelled up. "I am going to break it open." Cena stepped back and kicked the door. Once. Twice. On the third kick, it flew open. The ladder came down. And there, looking down at him with wide, shocked eyes, was Min-jun Park. The boy's face was pale. His clothes were wet. He was shaking. "But he was alive. Are you real?" Min-jun whispered. "I am real, and we need to go. Now." "You are John Cena." "Yeah. We can talk about that later." "Can you climb down?" Min-jun nodded. He climbed down the ladder slowly. His legs shook. When he reached the bottom, he almost fell. Cena caught him. "You came," Min-jun said. "You actually came." "Of course I came. Now let's get you out of here." A loud crack echoed through the house. The whole building shifted. Cena and Min-jun stumbled. The house was giving up. It could not take the storm anymore. "We need to move fast," Cena said. He led Min-jun to the broken window. Outside, he could see the boat. Mike and David waved their arms, signaling to hurry. The rope was still there, tied around Cena's waist. "Can you swim?" Cena asked. "Not well," Min-jun said. "That is okay. Hold on to me. Do not let go no matter what." Cena helped Min-jun out the window. He wrapped his arm around the boy's chest. Then he grabbed the rope with his other hand. "Pull," he yelled to the boat. "Pull us in!" Mike and David pulled the rope. Cena and Min-jun dropped into the water. The cold shocked Min-jun. He gasped. Cena held him tight. "I got you. Just breathe. They are pulling us back." The rope pulled them through the water, back toward the boat, away from the dying house. Debris hit them. Waves pushed them under. But Cena held Min-jun's head above water. He would not let this kid drown. Not after coming this far. David reached down and grabbed Min-jun's arm. He pulled the boy up into the boat. Then he grabbed Cena and pulled him up too. They both collapsed in the bottom of the boat, coughing and gasping. Behind them, the house made a terrible sound. A sound of breaking wood and crushing weight. Part of the second floor collapsed into the first. If they had been inside 2 minutes longer, they would be dead. Mike started the engine and turned the boat around. They needed to get away from here. Get to safety. Get Min-jun to medical help. David wrapped a thermal blanket around Min-jun. The boy was shaking hard. Shock, cold, fear, all hitting him at once. "You are safe now," David said. "You are going to be okay." Min-jun looked at Cena. His eyes were full of tears. "Why?" he asked. "Why did you come for me?" "You do not even know me." Cena sat up. He put his hand on Min-jun's shoulder. "Because someone had to. Because you asked for help. Because leaving you there was not an option." The boat moved through the storm, carrying them away from death and toward life. The worst was over, but the night was not done yet. The boat cut through the flooded streets, heading away from the worst of the damage. Min-jun sat wrapped in the thermal blanket, still shaking. His teeth chattered. Not just from cold. From everything. from fear and shock and the impossible reality that John Cena had just saved his life. Mike drove the boat carefully, avoiding the debris that floated everywhere. The storm was still strong, but it felt like it was finally weakening. The wind did not scream as loud. The rain was not as heavy. Hurricane Elena was moving on, leaving destruction in her wake. "Where are we taking him?" David asked. "Clearwater Emergency Shelter," Mike said. "It is at the high school, about 3 miles from here. They have medical staff and generators." Cena looked at Minjun. The boy's lips were turning blue. That was not good. They needed to get him warm and dry fast. Hypothermia was serious. People could die from it. "Hey, Minjun," Cena said gently. "Stay with me, talk to me." "What grade are you in?" Minjun's eyes focused slowly. "Junior." "11th grade. Good, that is good. What is your favorite subject?" I do not know. Maybe history. History is cool. What about sports? You play anything?" "Basketball. I am not very good, but I like it. Everyone starts somewhere. The important thing is you keep trying." Cena kept talking to him, kept him focused, kept his mind working. That was important. When people went into shock, they could drift away, get lost in their own minds. Cena had seen it before. He needed to keep Minjun present and aware. David opened a bottle of water and handed it to Minjun. "Drink this." Small sips, Minjun drank. His hands shook so much that water spilled down his chin, but he got some down. That was good. "Do your parents know where you are?" Cena asked. "They are at the hospital. They work there. They could not come home because of the storm. We will call them as soon as we get to the shelter. Let them know you are safe." Minjun nodded. Then his face crumpled. Tears started falling. "My house is gone. Everything is gone." Cena moved closer and put his arm around the boy's shoulders. "Houses can be rebuilt. Stuff can be replaced. You are alive. That is what matters. Your parents are going to be so happy to see you. I was so scared. I thought I was going to die. I know. But you did not. You were smart. You got to high ground. You called for help. You survived. That took courage." The boat turned a corner. Ahead they could see lights. The shelter. It was a big building on high ground, away from the flooding. Generator lights lit up the parking lot. People moved around outside, helping other survivors arrive. Mike pulled the boat up to the parking lot. The water was only about 2 feet deep here. He cut the engine. Several volunteer workers in bright orange vests rushed over. "We have a survivor," David called out. "Teenage boy. Possible hypothermia. Needs medical attention." 2 paramedics came running with a stretcher. They helped Minjun out of the boat and onto solid ground. He could barely walk. His legs would not support him. They laid him on the stretcher and wheeled him toward the shelter entrance. Cena, Mike, and David followed. Inside the shelter, the high school gym was full of people. Families sat on cots. Kids cried. Adults looked lost and scared. Everyone here had lost something to the storm. Homes, cars, possessions. Some had lost everything. The paramedics took Minjun to a medical area set up in the corner. They checked his temperature. 94 degrees, too low. They wrapped him in heated blankets and gave him warm liquids to drink. A doctor examined him, checking for injuries. "He has some cuts and bruises, mild hypothermia, but he should be fine," the doctor said. "You got to him just in time. Another hour and this would be a different story." Cena felt relief wash over him. They made it. Minjun was safe. The risk had been worth it. A woman in a red vest approached them. She was the shelter coordinator. "Are you the ones who brought him in?" "Yes," Cena said. "That was incredibly brave. And incredibly stupid. You could have died out there." "But we did not," Mike said with a slight smile. "Well, thank you. We will take care of him from here. Do you know how to reach his parents?" Cena pulled out his phone. Miraculously, it still worked. The waterproof case had saved it. He went to Minjun's social media post and found the replies. One was from someone named Minjun's mom. He clicked on the profile. There was a phone number listed. He called it. It rang 4 times. Then a woman's voice answered. She sounded exhausted. "Hello? Hello, is this Mrs. Park?" "Yes, who is this?" "My name is John Cena. I am calling about your son, Minjun." There was a pause. "Is this a joke?" "If this is a prank call, it is not funny. My son is home alone in a hurricane and I cannot reach him. This is not a prank. I saw his SOS post online. My team and I went to your house. We got him out. He is safe. He is at the Clearwater Emergency Shelter. Silence. Then he heard crying. Not sad crying. Relief crying. He is alive? He is really alive? Yes, he is being treated for mild hypothermia, but the doctors say he will be fine. He was very brave. Oh my God. Oh, thank God. I have been trying to call him for hours. His phone was dead. I thought, he is okay. He wants to see you. We cannot leave the hospital yet. There are still patients who need care, but as soon as we can, we will come. Please tell him we love him. Please tell him we are coming. I will tell him. Cena hung up and walked back to Min-jun. The boy was lying on a cot wrapped in blankets. He looked better. Color was returning to his face. He saw Cena and tried to sit up. Stay down, Cena said. Rest, I talked to your mom. She knows you are safe. She and your dad will come as soon as they can. They love you. Fresh tears rolled down Min-jun's face. Thank you. Thank you so much. I do not know how to repay you. You do not need to repay me. Just get better. Live your life. That is enough. A shelter worker approached with a camera. Sorry to interrupt, but people are saying John Cena is here. Is that true? Word had spread fast. Other people in the shelter started looking over. Whispering, pointing, some pulled out phones. Cena was used to this. Being recognized was part of being famous. But right now he just wanted to make sure Min-jun was okay. Yeah, it is me, Cena said. Could we get a photo? For our social media? To thank you for helping? Cena looked at Min-jun. Is that okay with you? Min-jun nodded. Yeah, that is okay. They took a few photos. Cena with Min-jun, Cena with the rescue team, Cena with the shelter workers. He smiled for each one. But inside he felt tired. The adrenaline was wearing off. The reality of what they had just done was sinking in. They could have died out there. The house could have collapsed on them. The boat could have capsized. Any number of things could have gone wrong. But they did not. They succeeded. And because of that, Min-jun Park would see tomorrow. David put his hand on Cena's shoulder. You did good tonight, brother. We all did. Mike walked over, holding 3 cups of coffee. The shelter staff made these for us. Figured we could use it. They sat down on a bench and drank the coffee. It was bitter and too hot, but it was perfect. Around them, the shelter buzzed with activity. More survivors arrived. Families reunited. People shared stories of survival. Outside, the storm was almost over. The sky was starting to get lighter. Dawn was coming. A new day. For some people here, it would be a day of grief and loss. For others, a day of relief and gratitude. For Min-jun, it was the day he got a second chance at life. A few hours later, the shelter doors burst open. A man and woman ran inside, their eyes searching frantically. They still wore their hospital scrubs. They looked exhausted and desperate. Min-jun, the woman cried. Where is my son? Min-jun heard his mother's voice. He sat up fast. Mom! His parents ran to him. His mother dropped to her knees beside the cot and hugged him tight. His father wrapped his arms around both of them. All 3 of them cried. Relief, joy, love, all mixed together in a moment of pure emotion. Cena watched from across the room. He felt a lump in his throat. This was why they went out there. This moment, this reunion, this was worth every risk. Mrs. Park looked up and saw Cena. She stood and walked over to him. Her face was wet with tears. You saved my son, she said simply. We all worked together, Cena said. You did not have to do that. You put your own life in danger for a stranger. He was not a stranger. He was a kid who needed help. She hugged him. Cena hugged her back. Sometimes words were not enough. Sometimes only actions could express what people felt. The storm had passed. The sun was rising. And in a shelter full of survivors, one family was whole again. That was all that mattered. 3 days after the rescue, the story went viral. Someone at the shelter had recorded video on their phone. The footage showed Cena arriving with Min-jun. It showed the reunion with his parents. It showed real emotion and real heroism. Someone posted it online and it spread like wildfire. Within 24 hours, the video had 10 million views. News channels picked up the story. CNN, Fox News, ABC, they all wanted interviews. The headline was everywhere. John Cena risks life to save teenager during hurricane. Cena did not want the attention. He turned down most interview requests. When reporters found him, he always said the same thing. David and Mike were heroes too. The real story was about people helping people. That was it. But the world wanted to celebrate him. And honestly, the world needed this story. Hurricane Elena had killed 42 people. Thousands were homeless. The destruction was massive. People needed hope. They needed to believe in heroes. Cena became that symbol whether he wanted to or not. Min Jun's life changed overnight too. His social media followers went from 300 to over 2 million. News crews showed up at the shelter wanting to talk to him. Everyone wanted to hear the story from the boy who was saved. At first, Min Jun did not know what to say. He was just a regular kid, nothing special. He got trapped in a storm and got lucky that someone saw his post. That was it. But his mother told him something that changed his perspective. She sat with him in their temporary housing, a small apartment provided by disaster relief. "You are alive because you were smart," she said. "You posted for help. You got to safety. You did not give up. That took courage. But you are also alive because good people exist. Because Mr. Cena saw your post and decided to act. Because David and Mike agreed to help. Because people care about strangers. That is the real lesson here." Min Jun thought about that. His mom was right. The world could be terrible. Hurricanes destroyed everything. Bad things happened to good people. But the world also had people who would risk their own lives to save someone they never met. That was powerful. 2 weeks after the rescue, Cena came to visit. Min Jun and his family were still in temporary housing. Their house was a total loss. Insurance would cover some of it, but rebuilding would take time. Maybe a year, maybe more. Right now, they were focused on just moving forward day by day. Cena brought pizza, regular pepperoni pizza from a local shop. Nothing fancy. They sat around a small table and ate together. "How are you doing?" Cena asked Min Jun. "Better. I still have nightmares about the storm, about the water rising, about being alone. That is normal. You went through something traumatic. Have you talked to anyone about it?" "The shelter connected me with a counselor. She is helping." "Good, that is important. Do not keep it all inside," Min Jun nodded. Then he asked the question that had been bothering him for 2 weeks. "Why did you really come for me? I mean, I know you are a good person, but you could have died. For me, a random kid. Why?" Cena put down his pizza. He looked Min Jun in the eyes. "When I was your age, I was struggling. My family did not have much money. I felt lost, like I did not matter. Then someone helped me. A teacher saw something in me. He told me I could be more than I thought I could be. He pushed me, believed in me. That changed everything. So you were paying it forward? Something like that. But also, it is just the right thing to do. When you see someone in trouble and you can help, you help. That is it, no big complicated reason. You needed help. I could provide it. So I did." Min Jun felt tears coming. Again. He cried a lot these days. The counselor said that was okay. "Crying was healing. I want to be like that," Min Jun said. "I want to help people." "Then do it. You are young. You have your whole life ahead. Use it to make a difference." They finished eating and talked for hours. About life. About dreams. About the future. When Cena left, he gave Min Jun his phone number. "If you ever need anything, call me." I mean it. Min Jun did not call often. He did not want to bother Cena, but they texted sometimes. Cena would check in, ask how school was going, how the family was doing. It was nice. Like having a big brother who actually cared. Over the next few months, Min Jun made a decision. He wanted to work in emergency services. He wanted to be the person who showed up when others needed help. He started volunteering with the local disaster response team. He took first aid classes, CPR training, water safety courses. His parents were worried at first. Their son had almost died in a flood. Now he wanted to run toward danger, but they saw the determination in his eyes. This was not just a phase. This was his calling. By his senior year, Min Jun was a certified first responder. He volunteered every weekend. When floods came, he helped evacuate families. When hurricanes threatened, he worked at shelters. He was not the scared kid in the attic anymore. He was someone who could help other scared kids. His transformation inspired his school. They started a disaster preparedness program. Students learned what to do in emergencies. They practiced evacuation plans. They created emergency supply kits. Because of Min Jun's story, hundreds of kids were now better prepared. Cena kept his promise to help. He established a scholarship fund for Min Jun. full ride to any college he wanted, study whatever he wanted. The only condition was that Min-jun keep helping others. That was an easy promise to keep, but Cena did more than that. He launched a hurricane relief fund that raised over $5 million. The money went to families who lost homes in Hurricane Elena. It paid for rebuilding, for temporary housing, for medical care. David and Mike helped distribute the funds. They made sure it went to people who really needed it. 1 year after the rescue, there was a memorial service for those who died in Hurricane Elena. 42 names were read aloud. 42 lives lost. The community gathered to remember and grieve. But after the memorial, there was a celebration. A celebration of survivors, a celebration of helpers, a celebration of the human spirit that refused to give up. Min-jun spoke at the celebration. He stood on stage in front of thousands of people. A year ago, he could not have imagined doing this. But now it felt right. Hurricane Elena took a lot from us, he said. Homes, possessions, loved ones. But it also showed us something important. It showed us who we really are. When everything falls apart, humans help each other. Strangers become heroes. Fear becomes courage. That night in the attic, I thought I was going to die alone. But I was not alone. 3 men I never met risked everything to save me. That is the story we should remember. Not the destruction. The humanity. The crowd applauded. Cena was there in the audience. He was not on stage. He did not want the spotlight. He was just there to support Min-jun, to see the kid he saved become the man he was meant to be. After the event, they took a photo together. Just the two of them. Cena's arm around Min-jun's shoulders, both smiling. It was not for social media, not for news stories, just for them. A reminder of that night, a reminder of what mattered. I am proud of you, Cena said. I learned from the best. Min-jun replied. 2 years later, Min-jun graduated high school as valedictorian. His speech was about resilience and hope. About how sometimes the worst moments in life lead to the best transformations. About how tragedy can create purpose. He went to college on Cena's scholarship. He studied emergency management. He excelled. During summers, he interned with FEMA. He wanted to understand disaster response from every angle. He wanted to be ready when people needed him. Cena attended his college graduation. So did David and Mike. The 4 of them had stayed close. They were family now. Connected by one night when everything could have gone wrong, but instead went right. After graduation, Min-jun got a job with the Coast Guard. He was part of a rescue team. The same kind of team that had been too busy to save him that night. Now he was the one showing up. The one pulling people from flooded houses. The one giving second chances. On the 5th anniversary of the rescue, Min-jun went back to Riverside Drive. His family's old house had been torn down. A new house stood there now. Different family. Different life. But the memory remained. He stood in the spot where the attic used to be. He remembered the fear, the cold, the certainty that he would die. Then he remembered the voices calling his name. The strong hand pulling him to safety. The warmth of the rescue boat. That night changed everything. It gave him life. But more than that, it gave him purpose. He knew what he was meant to do. Help others the way he was helped. Show up when people were scared and alone. Be the hero that someone needs. Min-jun pulled out his phone and called Cena. The phone rang twice before Cena answered. Hey, Min-jun, what is up? Nothing much. Just wanted to say thank you. Again. You have already thanked me 100 times. I know, but I will probably thank you 100 more. You saved my life. You are living a life worth saving. That is all I ever wanted. The storm that almost killed him ended up defining him. It showed him what mattered. Not things, not comfort, not safety. What mattered was connection, courage, compassion, the willingness to help even when it was hard, even when it was dangerous. Min-jun got back in his car and drove home. Tomorrow he had another shift with the Coast Guard, more people to help, more lives to save, more key.